Welcome back to the program. Saturday afternoon. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. There's a lot of great news going on. Seriously, this is just amazing what I'm going to tell you. But before we get into the really great news, let's think about some of the salaries that these people that are complaining so loud about Doge and how it is affecting them. Look, the bottom line here is that they have had a free ride for 25, 30 years. We're talking 3-4 decades, even longer, maybe 40 years. A total free ride. They've been able to steal from the American taxpayer trillions, not millions or billions, trillions of dollars from us, from we the taxpayers. And now the party is over. Fiscal responsibility has to come. And they're acting like little children. It's almost as if they have all the toys in the world, right? And they're on a spending spree, and they're little tiny children, and they have all the toys, and they're going to FAO Schwartz, kids, Toys R Us, whatever, and they're allowed to pick out anything they want because they're not paying for it. And then when it gets to the point where we pull the credit card back and they have to have fiscal responsibility for what they're spending, now all of a sudden we're the bad guys. It's unbelievable, truly unbelievable. And the things that we're finding out, I'm not even going to go into all that. There's so many other things. Now they're stealing money from our military. They're funding Al-Qaeda terrorists, and not just the terrorists, Boko Haram, Al-Qaeda, so many different groups, Muslim Brotherhood, all of this money they're funding. Why are they funding the people that want to kill us? Because it's all about them. That's why. They don't care about us. We know that. So let's take a look at some of the salaries, okay? And again, this will be part of the thumbnail as well. Nancy Lugosi, okay? This is the crypt keeper, the sea hag, the Tide Pod eater, right? She's literally been in Washington since its inception, practically, okay? She probably shook hands with Abraham Lincoln. The lady's been there so long. She makes an annual salary of $223,000. But because she's good at manipulating the markets, not to mention the fact that she's been the Speaker of the House multiple times and in charge of course, the finance committees, she's getting special treatment. She gets stock tips. She gets awareness of when something's going to go up, when something's going to go down. She sells at the right time. I mean, she has better odds than Warren Buffett. She needs to be investigated, okay? Because she is clearly doing things illegal. Well, guess what? She's worth $202 million on a salary of $223,000. So where did all that money come from? I think there ought to be a full-on investigation into her. Chucky Schumer, salary $210,000. His net worth is $75 million. Well, I guess he hasn't screwed as many people as Nancy. And then, of course, you have Pocahontas, or as I like to call her, Liar Watha. Liar Watha, Elizabeth Warren, annual salary $285,000. And her net worth is $67 million. Yet she has claims with a straight face that she doesn't take money from PACs and she doesn't take money from lobbyists. Yeah, she's a liar, okay? She's a total liar. Mitch McConnell, the Kentucky Fried Chicken, Mr. Freeze, Turtle Boy, right? Annual salary, $200,000. Net worth, $95 million. Unbelievable. That guy's been there since the inception of Kentucky, practically. Unreal. And then, of course, you have Mutt Romney, as I like to call him. Mutt Romney's annual salary is $174,000, but remember, he's been a corporate raider just about his entire life, and his net worth is $300 million. Dan Goldman, another dirtbag. This is one of the people that were involved with the impeachments of President Trump. Just a real dirtbag. Annual salary, $174,000. Net worth, $253 million. He's actually worth more, apparently, than even Bella Lugosi, Nancy Pelosi. Mark Warner from Virginia, $174,000 salary. His net worth is $215 million. And of course, last but certainly not least, the woman who just discovered a garbage disposal in the last 5 years, the most dumbest among us, Dumbelina, as I like to call her, AOC, annual salary $174,000, net worth $29 million in only 6 years. $29 million on a salary of $174. Now, I know she's not getting all that money on her back. I'm sure some of it is. So where is the rest of it coming from? How crooked are these people? And they have the audacity to tell us to keep quiet about the money that they're stealing from us? What, are you kidding me? Unbelievable. So all of these people need to be investigated. And quite frankly, the best way that we're going to be able to get these cuts permanent is to blackmail and coerce. That's right, I'm using those words publicly. Blackmail and coerce. We need to go through all these agencies, which we're doing, obviously, right? And we need to find all the crimes. And in particular, at this point, on the Republican rhinos, because we need all of their votes, because we already have the Senate, we have the White House, but we need their votes in order to get these cuts permanent instead of just being recommendations. I believe we are. I truly believe that Doge is going to be successful, because how can you not want to cut all of this crazy stuff? And the Republican rhinos are starting to come on board, because even now they're understanding it, and they understand that it's dangerous for them politically to be against it. So I think in the end, we are going to get what we need. However, wouldn't it be great to have the Doge kids find crimes against these Democrats and Republicans and basically tell them, look, do you want to be prosecuted for the images of you with the little boys in Tijuana or whatever it might be, or the cocaine that you were doing with X, Y, and Z, in the Capitol building, or whatever the crime may be, the sex dungeons that we have pictures of you in, or whatever it is, or your money laundering in, Ukraine, or wherever the crimes may be. We ought to let them know, hey, we have evidence of you in X. We have evidence of you and here and blah, 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 blah. And guess what? You come with us, you sign off on all of this so we can get rid of not just $4 trillion, $8 trillion, $10 trillion, $12 trillion, okay, of wasteful spending. And if you don't, guess what? We're going to refer you for criminal prosecution to Attorney General Pam Bondi. So there's your choice. You get the cuts that we need. You come on board with us. We blackmail you because of the evidence we have against you and coerce you. Or you go to jail. Simple as that. That's what we need to do. Now, I wanted to cover that. The other thing is this. What is happening in D.C. is unbelievable. We've never seen anything like this. I'm going to show you again in the thumbnail. The amount of homes that are selling right now, that are on the market in just the last 30 days is astronomical, okay? Astronomical. These people are selling their homes, Arlington, McLean, Washington, D.C., row homes, all of it. It's all going because they know they've been fired. And some of them, this is their second home, maybe even third home, right? As wealthy as they are that I pointed out. And so guess what? Bye-bye. They're selling. They're getting out of Washington. Not only are they being fired, but now they're leaving. And what do I say in chapter 4, dismantling Washington, D.C.? I say what? Get them the hell out. I even say in dismantling Washington, D.C., chapter 4, I talk about a ban on not having permanent residence within 100 miles of Washington, D.C. That way you can disperse the power structure and you can remove it. You can take the cancer that's in this 68.5 square mile area with 10,000 plus lobbyists, which is almost 200 lobbyists per person, and you can move it the hell out. Get these senators and congressmen and all these people back to their states. Let them work back in their states with their respective people and constituents, okay? That's what needs to happen. So they're all for sale. They're selling it all. The top Google searches in the DC area are RICO, are defense attorneys, are other crimes, obstruction of justice, money laundering. These are all the things that the Google algorithms are picking up in the DC area that these people are searching for. Okay? This is wonderful, wonderful stuff. Now, last thing before we head out, we're going to do a quicker show today because, quite frankly, I've got a lot going on and a lot to do. But these are just some, not all, but some of the cuts in which we are doing here. These are some of the areas and everything else. So let me put on my glasses here. Department of Veteran Affairs. The Department of Veteran Affairs is now led by Secretary Doug Collins, great congressman from Georgia. He was excellent, MAGA all the way. They have fired over 1,000 new employees as part of a wave of federal government layoffs, with at least an additional 3,000 to 6,000 more to go. The Environmental Protection Agency dismissed 400 workers after receiving an OPM directive. Lee Zeldin has confirmed. However, they have a goal of another 160 by next week and as many as 2,500 more after that. Health and Human Services. Boy, RFK Jr. has not wasted 1 second. 5,200 employees are going to be laid off. The first day alone, his first day, 1,200 people. Bye-bye. 1,300 people, and he's got his eye on another 5,200. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. This one, more than 100 employees were fired. This is the one, though, that the judge stepped in and is trying to save their asses on, but they want to get rid of another, 800 more. So we'll see what happens with that. The Department of Education, again, we want to close it, right? I was on Real America's Voice about, a month ago. They asked me, maybe it was even longer than that. They said, Josh, what do you think? Who's going to be the Secretary of Department of Education? And I said, well, I'm not sure. This was at that time. I said, but quite frankly, I hope that he doesn't have one at all. And they said, what do you mean? I said, well, I hope he puts a padlock on it and closes it down. That's what I said back then. So it's interesting that he used, what's her name? Linda McMahon, who is a multi-billionaire. She also served as the Small Business Association chairwoman in the first term. So she's now taking the fake position, basically, of the director of the NEA or NEA secretary, knowing that she's phasing out her own job. But she doesn't need the money. She's a multi-billionaire. She's the wife or ex-wife, I can't remember if they're married or not, of Vince McMahon from the WWF wrestling and all that. So she's got plenty of money. So she did that just because she's known Trump for 40 years. They've been friends. So she did that for him. Anyway, the Department of Education, let's see, what are the cuts on there? Well, they fired 30 workers on an OPM directive. They canceled another 160 contracts. So that's good. And let's see, it doesn't have the numbers on it yet, but hopefully at least, 400 or 500. But then again, they're going to shut it down. So it doesn't really matter because they're all going to be gone. All right. The SBA, Small Business Administration. More than 100 Small Business Administration employees received termination notices. And their goal is to wipe out an additional 400. And let's see, was there anything else? Well, that's it for that. But obviously, there's a hell of a lot more than that. USAID, of course, we know about. They're going into NASA. They went into the Center for Medical Services. They went into the CDC. They're going into NIA. They're doing it, okay? They're doing it. They're not going to do all 438 agencies, but they're going to do probably 50 or 60. And quite frankly, if they can eliminate 10 of those at least, that's a big, big difference. And with the people leaving and getting the hell out, those homes are going to be sold to other people that probably won't be in politics, we hope. So we're clearing out the swamp finally, once and for all. And the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, whatever you want to call it, 70% of buildings are vacant in Washington, D.C. And President Trump is planning on having a fire sale to get rid of them. So, things are amazing. They really, truly are. And it seems like every single day I get to report even better and better news. Stay tuned. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.